Hello everyone, it's Darren here. So glad to be back after my back injury. So yeah, hopefully I'll do more of this now after Christmas when we start the new year. I'll just go over my trade. I had a few good trades today. Made a total of 7k, not real money in evals, but nevertheless, 5k with one prop evals, 2.2k with Futures Desk. Anyway, let's go over what I traded and why. Okay, so on the chart you can see I have my congestion playbook because it's congestion we're in. So I always have that there as a reminder for myself. Now, what I do, you can see the blue resistance zone and the red resistance zone, support and resistance, okay? I draw these from previous price action, from the middle of the envelopes, from the valleys or the troughs, you know. So there you go, look right there. The nice valley there hasn't been touched yet. So I draw a black line across that, and I call that the bottom of the valley. And I did the same here. Top of this envelope, middle line, the valley there, top of that hasn't been crossed over yet. I'll ignore that bit, and I drew a line, right? So then I draw them across, and then I draw a rectangle with roughly, it's roughly 17 to 20 points width, right? Because that's what I want my stop to be, no more than 15 points really. So that's what that is. So I had that marked out before the London Open, okay? And the New York Open, sorry, is here with the black vertical line. So I knew where my zones were. I knew I was in congestion play because clearly, and for the newbies, although I am quite new myself, I've been here a month now, I think, but I've had 3 weeks off with a back injury, so I haven't been doing much other than studying. So you got the envelope. When the candles close above and below the envelope constantly, you know, without having 3 above or 3 below, we're in congestion. So we're clearly in congestion before New York, because it went into congestion there, and then it also went into congestion on the New York opening bar. This is a 10-minute bar on TradingView, but I also use NinjaTrader. So here's my markings out for NinjaTrader on the 10K. Okay, so I had them marked out, and I use the DMLs, and I look at the levels on my TradingView, and I mark them on there. And then I also, can't get rid of that now. Hold on, let me minimize that. And I also mark out the 50K, okay? So they were my zones for trading in the congestion. So I had those marked out on the 50K and 10K NinjaTrader, and then I transpose those onto TradingView. So I'm using NinjaTrader mainly to mark these levels on. Then I get my congestion book, which really helps me. Okay, so congestion. So I'm looking for price to come into these areas, into the red for a sell, into a blue for a buy, and I'm also looking at the congestion DMLs, which are the blue dots. They are most important to me when I'm in congestion because they tell me the low and the high of the congestions as well as the envelopes, but they're my main targets. Okay, so my first entry was right here. Can you see this box? I colored in green. Yeah. So that was my entry. Price came down to my zone, my blue support zone. It went up, and as soon as it passed these DMLs, when it was going up, I bought. And I bought 5 1K 1 micros and 2 6 micros. Okay. So I was in there, right? That's what I bought. What was my target? Well, my target was initially the blue congestion dot, right? But my main target was the middle of the red. That was my main target. So I took some off at the blue congestion dot there. I was happy with that. I think I took all my 1 micros off, and I left the 6 micros running. I was really happy with this reaction because it only went down so far and then went back up. And then when it went to the middle of my red resistance zone, I closed. So I closed. I pretty much knew it was going to go down because it rejected the extension DML here, didn't go above it, closed below it. It also closed below my support, my resistance red zone. So I was thinking it was going to go down anyway, but I didn't sell. I waited. I waited to see what price was going to do. So congestion down. It closed below the halfway, so we're in congestion again. So what do? As Andy says, patience, you wait. So I waited till price came into my blue zone. I didn't care about these. They didn't come into my blue zone, didn't care. I waited for this. This is where I entered again, okay? So on this bar here, I bought again, okay? This bar here. And I bought when price went above the core DMLs. The 2 core DMLs, when price went above that, I bought. What was my target? The red box. Okay, the red box. So that was 2. Then I took a sell. I was a bit late in the sell. Why did I take the sell? Well, it rejected, didn't close above the extension DML. It couldn't go above the core DML. So that's really strong resistance there, right? Really strong. It also closed below the extension and the mean to average DML there. This closed below them. So I was waiting to see what this candle did. This candle closed below the envelopes, below the middle, and also below my support zone. So I was waiting pretty much for a retracement back up into the envelope. Didn't go as high, so I was a bit late getting in. So I got in round here, somewhere just below the blue cyan dot. I got in for a sell. Okay. I also want to note, if I can try and do it, I treated this as a flash. I don't know why that's trolling like that, but let me undo that. That's all. Let me see if I can use my. I treated that as a flash, okay? That, and that as a flash, as a pocket flash as well. So I was pretty confident. Well, not confident, but I waited for price to show me what I was going to do. I seen that flash, the iron bolt, and I was pretty happy with that. So that went down. So I had the flash. I had the confirmation for the sell here, because it went below the envelope. And then I waited for a retracement back into my support zone. Didn't quite go up there, so I got in here. What was my targets? Well, I wasn't going to be greedy, because I had 2 good trades. So I wasn't going to be greedy. Get off the highlighter, you monk. Right, so get off. Hold on. Okay, so my targets were these, and they were perfect. I used the middle of the envelope, peak. Look, there it is. I do that. And I used the middle of the top envelope, peak. And I was going to get out when price came in that zone, which it did there. So I got out here for a nice sell. And then I got off. I could have bought again, but I didn't. And that was my trades today. Hopefully that helps. It certainly helps me. If the masters of the group could add their comments, I'd appreciate it on what they spotted that I didn't comment on. I would really, really appreciate it. I use this as a reference guide, the DML playbook. Okay, and I have that up on my screen. I just look at that when I'm doing it. Okay, great. I'll stop there and I'll post it now. Thanks.